Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
New unemployment data paints a grim picture nationally as a record number of Americans file for unemployment benefits. However, in North Dakota, there's a reason to be optimistic. As Valley News Team's Joshua Pagaro explains, the state may be turning a new leaf.
More than 20 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits in the past month. Data released Thursday morning shows in North Dakota there was a decrease in filings compared to the previous 2 weeks, something positive the state can hang its hat on.
There's probably less people getting laid off. I think more people are getting through the system of filing, and so that was actually a welcome thing to see.
The unemployment filings for last week were 10,500. The week before that, it was 16,000, and prior to that, it was 12,500.
Answer the phone all day long. The phones are still really crazy all day. But for the most part, people are super polite, super thankful.
Job Service North Dakota says people filing for unemployment are from a cross-section of jobs. Early in the coronavirus pandemic, most seeking benefits were those working at bars, restaurants, and hotels. But the current shift is to those working in manufacturing. Carrie Fry of the state's unemployment office in Fargo says people have had their benefits turned off. They must recertify every week.
Say that you're available for work each week and be available, and make sure you go in and certify every week. That's a huge, it seems like a little thing, and it really truly is a little thing, but if you don't do that, it will put a stop on your claim.
She adds that most of the unemployed say to get the extra $600 a week in their checks by next week, money that became available with the $2.2 trillion federal stimulus bill. In Fargo, Joshua Pagaro, Valley News Live.
For the North Dakotans who are small business owners, gig workers, and independent contractors, the system for them to get unemployment benefits is still not set up, but you should still apply. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says the state appears ready to meet the criteria outlined by President Trump for reopening America. The governor took part in a morning phone call with White House officials, including the president and vice president, and feels that North Dakota has done what's expected.
It was exciting to see that the criteria that's being discussed in the Opening Up America Again mirrors almost identically what we've been tracking here in North Dakota.
The governor also announced yesterday that the state will wait until the end of this month before reopening. We'll have more on what President Trump had to say in just a few minutes. Valley News Live has learned that there are nine confirmed cases of COVID-19 at Norwood Sales in Horace. The egg supply company's plant manager says they voluntarily shut down for 24 hours last Thursday to be professionally disinfected and have since reopened. Norwood officials say that the plant continues to clean the facility daily. Employee temperatures are taken as they arrive for work, and social distancing is encouraged while at the plant. Officials say they hope to soon acquire additional personal protective equipment for their workers. 28 more people have tested positive with COVID-19 in North Dakota compared to yesterday. 13 of those were people under the age of 40. 21 people have recovered compared to yesterday, and the state's death total remains at 9. Minnesota is reporting a jump in COVID-19 cases with 103 new ones reported today. That brings the total to 1,912. The death toll increased by 7 for a total of 94 people. 213 people are in the hospital. 103 of those are in ICU. But more than half of the total cases have now recovered. The state lists 1,020 people as recovered. Once the sun popped out today, I got the feeling that our weather was really starting to change, and for the good. Let's throw it to Hutch, who joins us from his home with a first alert weather planner on this Thursday evening. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Mike Morgan. I got to tell you, we definitely have better conditions here in the south, but it's more of the same old song and dance along Highway 2, even as far south as Highway 200. A few passing snow showers as we zoom in. These extend all the way from Polk County through the Grafton and Drayton areas out to the Devil's Lake Basin, Maddock, New Rockford, all of you having those quick passing snow showers. Down to the south with temperatures warmer is sprinkles of rain. And that's a look at our live shot from the studios on the Red River there. That's the river level in the Fargo-Moorhead area. receding by over a foot a day over the last few days. Temperatures tonight will be near freezing by the time we head to bed, and it won't be as cold overnight. Grand Forks, we cannot rule out a flurry of snow this evening, with temperatures sneaking down into the mid-20s by bedtime. I'll have details on that big warm-up because, Mike, as usual, it comes with some growing pains, and I'll spell all those growing pains out for you here in a moment.
All right, thanks for the heads up. A popular bridge across the Red River in the Northern Valley is back open after spring flooding. The Sorley Bridge between Grand Forks and East Grand Forks reopened after inspections by the State Transportation Department in both North Dakota and Minnesota. There are some load limits in place, though, for oversized vehicles and farm equipment. Also today, Grand Forks Mayor Michael Brown reopened the city's greenway, but is warning people to watch out for debris removal and cleaning. Some Minnesotans are protesting Governor Tim Walz's stay-at-home order and say too many people are suffering. A spokesperson for the group says that they believe the governor's order is unwarranted and that models that influenced his decision are grossly inaccurate. The group also wants to highlight that Minnesotans are suffering from financial pressures as well as upticks in domestic violence and depression. They say the state should be able to go back to work and fight the coronavirus responsibly. Walz says that there needs to be a major increase in testing before the state can reopen. You might soon be able to pick up beer and wine with your takeout orders in Minnesota. State lawmakers have agreed on a plan to let restaurants offer beer and wine to go and to help them stay afloat during the COVID-19 shutdown. The bill is set for votes today in the Senate and tomorrow in the House. The plan lets restaurants sell up to 72 ounces of beer, hand seltzer, or cider, and up to 750 milliliters of wine with takeout food orders. That works out to 6 12-ounce cans of beer or a standard bottle of wine. Minnesota's bar and restaurants have been shut down since March 17th. There's now a website for people in Minnesota who are struggling with the ups and downs of the pandemic. It's for people experiencing anxiety, depression, or other mental health issues. If you're in need of free mental health, text MIN at 741-741. And all of this information can be found on the VNL News app. As we mentioned earlier, President Trump unveiled plans this afternoon to start reopening the U.S. economy as experts and business leaders warn of the dangers of restarting without having precautions like widespread testing in place. At the same time, stunning new unemployment numbers highlight the need to get Americans back to work. Alice Barr is in Washington, D.C. with the very latest details.
New guidelines from the White House today giving states a framework to start reopening their economies.
I think they'll be very happy with what we're doing. They want to win this war, and we're going to win it. We're going to win it very big.
In a draft shared with NBC News, areas with relatively few coronavirus cases are advised to start pulling back on social distancing after May 1st, despite President Trump saying some states could start before then. Harder hit states cautioned to wait another month or more. New York's governor announcing today his state will stay locked down until at least May 15th.
No political decisions, no emotional decisions. Data and science, we're talking about human lives here.
New unemployment numbers out today underscore the urgency of getting people back to work. More than 5 million Americans filed new jobless claims last week, bringing the total to roughly 22 million in just 1 month. In Dallas, hundreds in need lined up outside a food bank.
I don't think we've seen the tip of the iceberg yet, because I think there are so many people that may be out of work, but they're living off the reserves right now.
Business leaders telling President Trump in a conference call they're eager to get their employees back to work, but emphasizing the need for much more widespread testing so people can feel safe returning to their daily lives. At the same time, the Small Business Administration saying today the Paycheck Protection Program is out of money and can't take any more applications. Democrats have refused to approve more funding for small businesses without including money for hospitals and state and local governments. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Members of Congress are back in their home districts, but making arrangements for enough lawmakers to make it to Washington, D.C. to approve more emergency aid if they can reach a deal. A Fargo man tells us his grandmother and other residents at Bethany Retirement Home are wearing protective gear and only see staff and nurses if needed, saying he knows the facility is doing as much as it can. Bethany on 42nd Street in Fargo confirmed yesterday its first case of COVID-19, which has some family members on edge.
It was exciting to see that the criteria that's being discussed in the Opening Up America Again mirrors almost identically what we've been tracking here in North Dakota. So
we apologize. That clearly was the wrong soundbite. Bethany officials indicated that there is no cases COVID-19 at its University Drive location. CDC officials took a look inside the South Dakota pork processing plant linked to more than 600 COVID-19 cases and 1 death. It happened at the Smithfield Foods facility in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's being called the biggest single source of coronavirus cases in the country. The tour's purpose is to determine what steps are necessary for the plant to reopen. This Smithfield plant, which closed Wednesday, is one of the largest pork processing facilities in the country. The plant employs about 3,700 workers. Later on Valley News Live at 6, we're going to have more students and teachers from around the valley sharing messages as they continue to learn from a distance.
I don't know about you, but there was something about that sunrise this morning that, well, provided a little promise for improvement in our weather. It was modest improvement, still way below average for this time of the year in Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. Your forecast, warmer, details right after this.